In today's short clip, we're going to talk about what got you here won't get you there. This is about scaling. As you grew your business, it probably grew quickly, and maybe you got to a spot and you're wondering why it isn't going the way that you want. Or maybe you're at a spot and you've had a lot of success, but you want to keep it going. So we're going to talk about this concept in this short clip. What got you here won't get you there. Wow, this is a good one. What got you here won't get you there. Powerful. What does that mean to you? When you think about that, what does that mean? How does that relate to your business? It's a pretty powerful statement. And, as you've been doing business, this may resonate. Hi, my name's Seth Lewis. I'm the blue collar business coach, and my goal is to help you rethink business and create change so that you can live your ideal business and personal life. If you like my content and tips, I would ask that you subscribe to my channel so you always get the latest content. I'll cover topics if you want me to cover them. Just put in the chat and ask questions, and I'll look to cover those specific areas or topics so you can learn and I can share the knowledge with everybody. But let's dive into it. What does this statement mean? What got you here won't get you there. The problem is, and when you think about what has happened in business, there's a lot of good things. So it's not really a problem, but many businesses grow very quickly. You think about when you start out with a truck and it grows, it grows, it grows. But you start to realize that what got you here won't get you there. The way that you function when you first started is different. If you think about you had a tablet, maybe some of you still have a yellow tablet in your truck and you write everything down. That got you here, but it's not going to get you there. So if you're still on the yellow tablet, that may keep you here. So the idea is, and you can relate to this wherever you are, whether you're just a one-person operation or you have 10 people and you want to get to 20, or you have 50 and you want to get to 100. What got you here is not going to get you there. So we have to be able to identify what got you here, appreciate it, celebrate it. It's an exciting time. Your journey is important. And just a little segue into this, I would make sure that you share your journey as a part of your sales pitch. When you're talking to people and you're sharing what you do, I would make sure that you share that journey because that's a part of who you are. That's how you became successful. It's your owner's story. It's your story of how you got there. So that's important. So don't downplay that. But what got you here won't get you there. Again, I'm going to say this a lot and it's going to sound on repeat a little bit, but I really want you to think about what is going on here. So you've grown. And when you were one person or you were a couple people, you were able to make profits. But when you got to that next level and had to add more people, all of a sudden things happened. Maybe you had a workman's comp claim. Maybe you just weren't sure how to manage a bigger staff. And then you watched all your profits and different things just fall apart. So what's actually happening when that happens in your business? And I really want you to relate this to what you've experienced. Think about the challenges that you've had. Think about the ups and downs of business. Business is very rewarding, but it's very challenging. It's not for everybody. It's not for the faint of heart. So when you think about this, you had, like I said, the profits might be there. You might realize that things need to change. Maybe it's been good for you. Maybe it's been bad. I mean, I speak with business owners all the time that the economy's been good. Business has been really good, but they're actually scared about what may happen in the future. Are they set up the right way? Did they make the right moves? Were they actually using every penny that they made during hay season? And now when it's a famine, they don't have the money. So they got to think about trimming back. So what got you here won't get you there. The truth is there's a cycle that happens. It's frequently, when you look about business, there's always growth and there's always some challenges. We know that. But what happens as business grows, you kind of get maxed out. You kind of get stuck in one area. And I can think back to one of my service companies where I continued to have this reoccurring challenge. I continued to get to a certain revenue, and then the wheels seemed to fall off the bus. And I couldn't figure out what was going on initially until I realized that I was trying to work in a frame. And I'm going to give a weird analogy. It's going to be a little bit goofy, but I want you to think about an animal. And I want you to think about if you are a dog or a bear. You pick your animal. So let's say a bear. If you're a bear, you have a frame and you have a body. That is your operating system. That's how you function within inside your company. But let's say you want to become an elephant. Why an elephant? I don't know. Pick an animal that you like. Maybe it's something that's bigger. But you have to change that framework. You have to change that body. You can work as hard as you want. But if your framework is set up to be a bear, that's all you'll ever be. Now, some people are happy being a bear. But if you really want to grow to be an elephant, if that's what your goal is in business, you have to frame out your business and set it up to be an elephant. The framework has to allow you to be able to expand, to grow. And as long as you have a shell of a bear, that's all you'll be. So I want you to examine what your shell is. And how do you do that? Well, it's a great question. There's a couple things that you can do to do this, and I just want to give some simple tips and ways to look at this. The first thing you can do is look at and say, identify bottlenecks in your system or process. Because if you have a bottleneck in your system or process, that's probably going to tell you that's what that frame is. That's holding you to this point. That is limiting your growth. So if you're a bear, if you're a dog, if you're a cat, I don't know, pick your animal, whatever you want, that's where it's going to hold you. That's all your growth potential is. So no matter what adjustments you make in that framework, that's your limiting thing. You'll always be that. What does that mean? So we're speaking in animals, which again, it might be silly, but that's your revenue. That's that $100,000 that you can't break through. The 500, the million, the 5 million, the 10, the 50 million. If you want to be a $100 million company and you're stuck at 50 million, this is that framework. What does it take to get those processes and free it up? So the first thing is identify bottlenecks, systems, and processes. What the heck is going on? The second thing that I want you to do is evaluate the capacity and the margin of the people. One, yes, I'm assuming you have the right people in the right seats. That's a whole nother topic that we'll talk about. But the people that are working, what is their capacity and the margin of the people? So margin means, can they take on more? Is everybody maxed out? If everybody's maxed out, then it's going to be tough for you to grow. So the idea is to be able to create a system that has some margin. People have to have a flow to be able to do more. This is raising that ceiling. So if everybody's maxed out, imagine if you put a process in place that gives them more time. Let's say on a 40-hour work week, you cut it back to 10 hours. So you have 10 hours of time by implementing a process that allows your organization to grow. So what if you created 10 hours or 5 hours for every person in your organization? That would allow you to take more work or have them do something more impactful. So it's evaluating the margin of the people. Maybe you're tying that process to it. You're identifying bottlenecks. So number 3, you're going to look at creating systems and processes that allow people to thrive. So if we realize that people are maxed out and they're at capacity, there's no way that we can grow. So we got to do something. This is how you change the body. The body is growing. You're actually growing into a different animal, which is, again, an interesting analogy, but you have to build that framework. You have to get capacity. You have to change and morph your body so that you can grow to this other organization. You have to be able to identify that. So you're going to create systems and processes that allow these people to thrive. The fourth thing that I want you to do is make sure everybody has clear deliverables. Most organizations, if I ask the people, if I ask the owners, if I ask you, do your people know what to do? They have clear deliverables. You say yes. Or you say, I think they know. They're pretty good. When I ask them, it's the furthest from the truth. They have no idea. It's almost comical because you think they're doing this, and you wonder why there's not alignment and all the things that come with that. Money in the bank, freedom, flexibility, financial freedom, all of that. So clear deliverables are important in this whole thing. And then the fifth area that I want to look at is, what is your overall system and experience like? It needs to be great for your customers, and it needs to be great for your employees. So if you're not building a company and system and process and flow that's great for your customers and great for your employees, you're going to have a tough time changing that and growing. It has to be something that energizes them and your customers want to buy or engage, and it has to be easy. So if you do this, it's going to break down a lot of barriers, and it's going to allow you to scale and change this model, to change the shape. When you start out, you were a tiny little organization. And maybe to the first $1 million, depending on your industry, or 5 million, it was easy. But now the way we're routing things, the staff that we have, the yellow tablet, the bookkeeper that wasn't a bookkeeper to start, and maybe it was somebody in your family doing the books, and now you just need something more advanced. These are things that you have to break down and keep stepping up, because you need an expert in the field. You need somebody that can do these tasks. If you're a larger organization, it's about better systems and processes, and you get to a point, if you're at 50 people or maybe 100 or 300, what got you here won't get you there. You have a lot of risk and exposure. You don't have an HR department. You don't have people that are managing this in a proactive way. You have to invest in different things in order to get there. But you have to change, and that's going to allow you to add your next 25 people, 50 people, 100 people. If you're at 5, it's going to allow you to get to 10 or 20 or whatever your goal is. It's so important. What got you here won't get you there. So I would love if something connected with you, put in the comments. I love to hear what connects. The other thing that I would encourage you to put in the comments is the next topic that you want to hear about. Do you have a question? Do you have something that you'd love me to just elaborate on or expand? Put in the comments. I read them. I'll comment. If I can give you some insight, I'll do that. If not, I'll do a segment on it and answer some questions. But I appreciate you tuning in. Like and subscribe my channel. Like it, share it, comment. That would be the best. Thanks. I want you to go out there and crush it. Keep the momentum. Keep the energy going. If you need anything, reach out to me. I'm here for